The last thought before you drift into sleep is not just a passing moment in your mind. It is a seed being planted in the most fertile soil of your being. As you move from wakefulness into that quiet, drowsy state, your conscious mind begins to relax, and the gate to your subconscious opens wide. In that moment, your mind is at its most receptive. It does not judge, it does not question, it simply accepts. If you allow worries, doubts, or memories of failure to fill your mind in those final moments, you are unknowingly watering the seeds of more of the same. Your subconscious will take these impressions as instructions, quietly arranging circumstances, people, and opportunities to mirror them back to you. But if instead you deliberately choose a thought that aligns with the life you want, if you see yourself as the person you wish to be, feel the satisfaction of your desire already fulfilled, and let that be the last picture in your mind, you are setting in motion a chain of unseen events that will bring it into your reality. This is not a matter of forcing or straining. It is a gentle shifting of focus. As you lay in bed, you can close your eyes and create a simple, vivid scene that implies your wish is already realized. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude as if it were happening now. Let that feeling sink deep into your body until it becomes natural, until it feels like the truth. Then allow yourself to drift into sleep holding that mood. You are not trying to make it happen, you are letting it happen by accepting it as already done. In this way, your last thought before sleep becomes the blueprint for your tomorrow. Night after night, you are building the structure of your future, brick by brick, thought by thought. What you choose in those sacred minutes will echo into your waking life, not as chance or coincidence, but as the inevitable unfolding of the image you cherished before closing your eyes. Feeling is not just an emotional reaction. It is the very language your subconscious understands. Thoughts alone can pass through the mind like clouds across the sky, but when a thought is clothed in feeling, it takes root. The way you feel about something determines how deeply it is impressed upon you, and what becomes impressed will inevitably be expressed in your life. It is not enough to simply think of what you want before sleep. You must feel the reality of it as if it were already yours. When you attach genuine emotion to your imagined scene, it stops being a distant possibility and becomes a living experience in the present moment. The warmth of joy, the quiet contentment, the thrill of success, these feelings are not waiting in the future for you to earn them. They are available now, to be summoned deliberately, to saturate the images you hold in your mind. When you feel it now, you are declaring to your deeper self that this is your truth, and your subconscious accepts that truth without resistance. The power lies in the authenticity of the feeling. It does not have to be dramatic or overwhelming. Even a gentle, calm sense of satisfaction can transform an idea into a reality. As you lay in bed at night, you can allow your mind to wander into the scene you desire, and then, instead of analyzing it, simply feel it. Feel the comfort, the pride, the relief, as if it were already unfolding around you. Let that feeling soak into you until it feels natural, until it feels inevitable. In this state, your subconscious receives its clearest instructions, not through words, but through the emotional frequency you carry into your sleep. Imagination is the invisible workshop where all things are first made before they take shape in the physical world. Every invention, every breakthrough, every change in a person's life begins as a picture in the mind. In the quiet of your own thoughts, you hold the power to design, to rearrange, and to create the reality you wish to experience. The images you entertain are not idle fantasies. They are blueprints, sketches of the life you are building, whether you do so deliberately or by default. When you use imagination with intention, you step into a world where limitations no longer exist. You can see yourself living the life you desire, not as a dreamer watching from the outside, but as the one inside the scene, touching it, hearing it, feeling it as real. In those moments, the boundaries between what is real and what is imagined begin to blur, and your subconscious accepts the imagined experience as something already true. From there, it begins to arrange events, circumstances, and encounters to align with that inner vision. Before sleep, this workshop becomes even more powerful. The mind is soft and impressionable, no longer crowded with the noise of the day. Here, you can craft a simple scene that implies your wish fulfilled, a conversation, a gesture, a moment that would naturally follow the realization of your desire. You can replay it slowly, vividly, until it becomes familiar, until it feels like a memory rather than a fantasy. This is how you plant the seeds that will grow into the experiences you will one day call reality. Your imagination is not an escape from life. It is the source from which life itself is shaped. The subconscious never questions, never debates, never decides. Whether what you present to it is good or bad, true or false, it accepts every impression you give it as fact and works tirelessly to bring it into expression. It does not reason in the way the conscious mind does. It simply receives and obeys. Whatever you hold with feeling and repetition, whether it serves you or harms you, becomes the instruction it follows. And through this sensitive you feel things or hold the universe. It sets whether it will. This is why your inner conversations, your nightly thoughts, and the emotions you dwell on are so important, for they are the very commands you are issuing to the deepest part of yourself. If you go to sleep telling yourself stories of lack, fear, or failure, your subconscious accepts these as the patterns to reproduce. It does not stop to warn you or suggest a better choice. It quietly sets in motion the very circumstances that match the picture you've impressed upon it. But if you feed it images of success, peace, love, and fulfillment, it will just as faithfully bring those to life. It has no preference. It is as ready to build a palace as it is to dig a prison, depending entirely on the blueprint you hand it. This is why the moments before sleep are so critical. In that drowsy, drifting state, you are speaking directly to the subconscious in its own language. Images, feelings, and assumptions. Whatever you choose to present to it in that time will sink deep, untouched by doubt or logic. The subconscious does not argue, it only creates. And it will create in exact accordance with the last idea you allowed yourself to feel as true. To fall asleep in the end state is to let the final moments of your waking mind be filled not with longing or worry, but with the feeling of already having what you desire. It is shifting your attention away from the problem and placing it fully on the outcome, as though it were already accomplished. Instead of asking how or when it will come, you accept that it is done and sink into the satisfaction of that knowing. In that quiet space before sleep, you imagine yourself not striving toward the goal, but living in the reality where it has already happened. This means seeing through your own eyes the results you wish for, holding the proof in your hands, hearing the words you've longed to hear, feeling the joy or relief you would naturally feel in that moment. You replay that scene, not as a distant possibility, but as a present truth. The key is not to force it or make it vivid through effort, but to let it feel natural, as though you are remembering something rather than creating it. The body relaxes, the mind softens, and you allow yourself to drift into sleep in that state of fulfillment. When you do this, you are impressing upon the subconscious the assumption that the desire is already yours. There is no gap to close, no obstacle to overcome. Only the acceptance of a reality that already exists in the unseen. Night after night, this practice trains your inner world to match the outer life you wish to live. By falling asleep in the end state, you set in motion the unseen currents that will carry that inner assumption into physical expression. As you move towards sleep, your mind naturally passes through the alpha state, a deeply relaxed yet aware condition, where the chatter of the day begins to fade and your thoughts slow into a gentle rhythm. In this state, the conscious mind loosens its grip and the doorway to the subconscious opens wider than at any other time. You are neither fully awake nor fully asleep. You are suspended in a quiet, receptive space where suggestions and images are absorbed effortlessly. What you think and feel here sinks in deeply, bypassing the usual filters of logic and doubt. This is the reason your imagination and emotions have such power in these moments. In the alpha state, the mind is impressionable, like soft clay waiting to be shaped. You can use this time to replay a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire, and the subconscious will take it as something real. You can dwell on the satisfaction, the gratitude, or the joy you would feel if your wish were already true, and that emotional state will be impressed as fact. You are, in a sense, programming yourself at the deepest level, and the subconscious will work tirelessly to match your waking life to the impressions you gave it. If you allow fear or frustration to fill this space, the subconscious will faithfully reproduce that pattern just as easily. But if you fill it with images of success, health, love, or peace, it will just as faithfully create that. The alpha state before sleep is a natural gift, an open channel between what you imagine and what you will experience. The more deliberately you use it, the more your nights become a time of quiet creation rather than idle drifting. When you create a mental scene of your desire fulfilled, the power lies not in running through countless different images, but in choosing one simple, meaningful moment and repeating it until it feels like second nature. The mind responds to familiarity. The more often you revisit the same scene with the same emotions, the more real it becomes to you. At first, it may feel like you are pretending or forcing it, but with gentle repetition, the scene begins to settle into your awareness as something normal, something already belonging to you. This repetition is not mechanical, it is alive with feeling. You are not just watching the scene as an outsider, you are inside it, seeing through your own eyes, hearing with your own ears, feeling with your own heart. You replay it slowly, savoring the details, the tone of a voice congratulating you, the weight of an object in your hand, the warmth of someone's embrace, the quiet peace in your chest. Each time you repeat it, you let the edges blur and the resistance fade until there is no sense of effort, only the calm certainty that this is your reality. When a scene feels natural, the subconscious accepts it without question. It no longer sees it as something to strive for in the future, but as something already true now. And because the subconscious faithfully expresses what it accepts as real, the repetition of a natural feeling scene becomes the silent force that moves your desire from imagination into physical experience. You are not pushing for results, you are simply living the result inwardly until the outer world reflects it. Where night is the quiet meeting place between you and the unseen forces that shape your life. When the world grows still and the noise of the day falls away, you are left alone with your inner world, the place where all creation begins. This is not an ordinary moment to be rushed through or filled with idle worries. It is a sacred appointment, a time set apart for you to choose what you will impress upon your subconscious. In these final minutes before sleep, you are the architect, the designer, the storyteller of the life you will wake into. As your body relaxes and your mind softens, you step into a space where imagination is not bound by the limits of the day. Here you can see yourself as the person you want to be, live the experiences you desire, and feel the emotions that would naturally follow their fulfillment. You can speak silently to yourself in the language of images and feelings, knowing they will be received without resistance. This time is yours alone, and whatever you choose to plant in it will grow. For the night faithfully carries your last impressions into the deep soil of the subconscious. Treat these moments with intention. Approach them as you would a sacred ritual, not with strain, but with reverence and calm focus. The scenes you imagine, the feelings you nurture, and the truths you accept here will echo into your waking hours, shaping conversations, opportunities, and outcomes in ways you may not even trace back to this quiet time. Night is not merely the end of a day, it is the beginning of the next creation. Every night you are given a doorway into the life you desire, and you walk through it with the thoughts and feelings you carry into sleep. This is not a small or casual act. It is the most powerful creative moment you have each day. Your subconscious does not rest. It takes your final impressions and works tirelessly to weave them into the fabric of your reality. You are never at the mercy of chance or circumstance. You are the one planting the seeds, and you are the one who will harvest their fruit. So tonight, and every night after, step into that sacred space with intention. Leave behind the weight of doubts and fears, and instead choose to dwell in the end state of your fulfilled desire. See it, feel it, accept it as real. Let that be the last thing you know before you drift into sleep. For when you do, you are not just ending your day, you are beginning the quiet, unseen work of shaping your tomorrow.